Okay, so here's another update on this chemical spill from Freedom Industries. There's, as of today, which is today's January 15th, 2014, about 40% of the city has water now. They're still getting the stuff out of the system, but they're able to use it. I was told that Gary Southern, which is the president of Freedom Industries, has left the company because of this. And his wife had posted some type of a message on her Facebook page saying that he's not responsible and everybody's being mean and they need to leave him alone and all this and that crap. But yeah, apparently he's left the company. I don't know 100% sure if it's true, but that's what I'm told. So, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, the water was turned back on in South Charleston, and people started flushing their systems. And what that means is everybody's turning their hot water and cold water faucets on and letting it run. You let the cold run for 5 minutes and the hot for 15 because, of course, you got a water heater and it's full of that stuff. So what happened was everybody at once had turned their water on. Apparently, a pipe had busted, and my theory on that is because of the pressure actually keeps the pipe pushed against the ground because of the pressure of it. And when everybody turned their water on, all that pressure went down and the pipe collapsed, causing all the dirt and the mud and sediment to get into it. So now they've got to figure out where this leak is, replace the pipes, and do this whole thing all over again. So they've once again been told not to use their water or to boil water because of the dirt and stuff that's in it. There's also a leak just over here on Cabin Creek Road, just across from me too. There's a small leak that's been there for a while. I was told by one of the guys that works up here at the barbershop. But anyway, there was about 7,500 gallons of this stuff spilled into the river, approximately. We don't know exactly how much. The water is supposed to be at levels which is well below the safety limit for drinking and using to cook and stuff like that. People are having to change the filters in their houses for their water systems, change the filters in your refrigerators. You have to run your washers and dryers on cycles, or not dryers, but the washers. You run your washers on a cycle, get all that stuff washed out of the washer. Same way with your dishwasher. If you have humidifiers or anything hooked up to your water system, you have to change the filters in that. You have to sanitize the inside of those, get all the water out of that and all the residue cleaned out. Again, since the last video I posted about this, my water, the last video, it didn't have any smell or anything to it. The next day, of course, it did. So I can smell that licorice. It's a faint smell, but it's still enough that you can actually tell what it is. I've been taking a shower in it. It hasn't bothered me a bit. But there are people who are saying that they've received burns and, their arms are messed up because of it. The older people and the younger people are going to be more susceptible to this stuff because their immune systems are weakened, and especially with babies, their immune system is still, growing and working on building up against pathogens and stuff. But that is the update on that. I live in Cabin Creek, so we're still in the red right now. We haven't got up this far yet. They've got most of the main water lines in town cleaned out. What they're doing is they're actually opening a fire hydrant and letting the water come out, and then they're doing tests every so often to see how much is in the water. They're still testing the water going into the water plant as well. They've actually given everybody a $1,000 or a thousand gallon credit on their bill, which turns out to be about $5 on your bill. So you can flush this out of your system without having to pay a huge bill. But they're saying it should be cleaned up in the next few days. Kanawha County schools have been closed. They were closed Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. The schools are still closed today. I haven't actually watched the news to get any more updates on it today. This is just the past couple days here. But it should be up and going within the next week. Everybody should be cleaned out and ready to go, except for those who have to deal with the busted lines, of course, because of this. The water lines, there's over 1,500 miles of water lines from West Virginia Water within 8 counties. So there's a lot of lines that's got to be cleaned out. A lot of them's going to have to be replaced because of this. Whenever the pressure goes down and goes back up, there's a chance that that sudden increase in pressure can bust the lines. But, the tanks. There's actually people who used to work for Freedom Industries long ago that were talking about these tanks. So what I heard from one of the guys, they didn't show his face, but they did do an interview with him. He worked for the company before, and I think one of the tanks that they were talking about had a crack in it. And I think they're like 2 or 3 inches thick, the tanks are. Steel tanks. And they had welded on a piece of metal to the outside where the crack was to stop the leak. So what we believe happened was last Monday, the 6th, January 6th, 2014. That's when we got that real cold snap come through here in West Virginia. Monday night it was like -3 degrees. Tuesday night was like -1 degrees, and then it started gradually warming up. But on the 6th, it got cold that night. It got down below 0. So what they're thinking, or what this ex-employee was saying, was they had to, a while back, because they'd known about these tanks for years. This isn't something that just popped up this month. But they had welded the hole shut this tank, and they believed that the cold weather that we had caused the weld to come apart from a tank, and it also allowed this chemical to leak out into the ground and gradually into the river. Now there's also barrier walls. A lot of you who have worked at these places, you know what a barrier wall is. It's a wall that prevents the stuff from leaking out into the ground. It's like a big swimming pool with no water in it. It contains all that stuff in that wall. The wall was cracked. There's actually pictures on YouTube. If you look in there, they'll show you, or if you just do a Google search, there'll be pictures of it where the wall is actually cracked and you can see it where it leaked out from underneath the wall. So anyway, that's the update. If more news comes, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and post that too. Like I said, I'm not really 100% sure about Gary Southern. He is the president of the company Freedom Industries. I heard that he did leave the company. And then there was a post from his girlfriend on there that she said a bunch of stuff about him. But the more I learn and the more I hear from, especially the coal miners, because there's a lot of them works up here. There's a guy came in the other day at my job and said that he works with this methocyclochloride or whatever it is. He works with it every day, gets it on his hands and everything, and it doesn't bother him. It hasn't hurt him yet. So it may not be as bad when it's mixed with water, but it is very toxic when it's in its full strength. It's the full strength. So you don't want to put your hand down in a container that's full of this stuff and it's not mixed with water, because it can, burn you. You can't breathe it in. You don't want to breathe it in because it'll burn your lungs up too. But that's the update on this one. Like I said, I'm about 14-16 miles from water plant, so it takes longer to get here. So of course, the longer it goes, and as it leaves the water plant, it's going to get weaker and weaker. So it hasn't bothered me. I've took a shower in it. I haven't washed clothes, and I haven't washed dishes in this stuff. I haven't done that yet, and I'm not going to. And I don't give the water to my animals either. So I'll keep you updated on any more news that comes up, and I'm hoping to see some more information from these guys that used to work for this company before. But as soon as I learn something else, I'll make another video and I will post it on YouTube for you. See y'all later.